You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Thank you so much for joining me here today on this Mindset and Motivation Monday, where hopefully we're going to help you get your week started off right. And the fodder for today's topic really came from a lot of what I see on social media. So Instagram is the social media of choice for myself, where I like to hang out, spend a couple minutes every day, kind of engaging with our community. Love hearing success stories, love also seeing what people are struggling with. And one of the things that I see people struggle with is, of course, autoimmune-based issues or chronic-based diseases of the body. So those are things that people have been told by their PCP, by their specialists, their endocrinologist, their gastroenterologist, any of the ologists, right? Any of the people who specialize in these things, that you're going to be suffering with this condition for the rest of your life. And the best that you can do is take this medication to suppress your symptoms. Not get better, but suppress your symptoms, because if you were to ever come off this drug, well, those symptoms would come right back and most likely worse. And what's probably going to happen to you in the future, in the next year, 2 years, or maybe 5 years, is that something else is going to go wrong in the body because we've been suppressing those symptoms, which is crying out to you that something must change, that there's some underlying root imbalance that you need to fix. And because you haven't fixed that, and I know that you don't know how, but because you haven't fixed that, only more suffering is to come in the future. And I feel for those people because I was one of those people. So when I see on people's Instagram accounts and I click on their name, and below their name says Hashimoto's sufferer, or MS sufferer, or rheumatoid sufferer, or migraine sufferer, like that is their identity. That is who they've made up their mind to be. And the problem with that is that when you identify with a disease or a type of suffering, someone who might be overweight, someone who can't find the right relationship because the relationships that they're in are not healthy relationships, or they've come from a poor background, whatever it might be, they're identifying with that. And so because of that, it is difficult for them to ever find their way out. Because when you are the Hashimoto sufferer, that is who you are. That is your identity. That's who your friends know you are. That's who your family knows you are. That's who everyone online knows you are. And if you were somehow to not be the Hashimoto sufferer, you would literally suffer from identity crisis. You can't see yourself currently in this moment as someone that's ever overcome that. And here's the thing. If other people have, why can't you? Why are you the person that's not able to overcome that? And I'll tell you why. The only reason you haven't been able to is, one, you haven't been given the education. That's it. You haven't been shown by someone who says, oh, here are all the ways that someone could get Hashimoto's. And yeah, sure, there's a genetic predisposition to it, but that doesn't mean that your genetics are your destiny. You know, in my family, everyone got rheumatoid arthritis. Again, all four of my grandparents, both my parents, and then I had it when I was a late teenager, okay? I don't have it today. It doesn't have to be my destiny, and neither does yours. What happens is your genetics matter when the lifestyle, the environment, the diet is out of alignment with your body. Now, you could be saying, but I'm eating this, this, and this, and it's all healthy. Sure, it's all healthy food as we've been led to believe, but it might not be healthy for you. That's what I'm saying. What I need for you is to get behind the education, is to understand that there is a way out of your particular condition, but there's also something else. And that's you need to start acting like the person who's not the Hashimoto sufferer, who's not the MS sufferer, who's not the overweight sufferer. Because until you start to visualize yourself and see yourself as someone who's not that person, who has a new goal, as someone who's the person who overcame their autoimmune disease, overcame their weight issues, overcame relationship, family, all of those other hardships, that you can't change. You literally can't change. Because what you see in your life is all of the negatives. you see yourself suffering each day from the inflammation, right? From the pain, from all of the things that make your body feel like you have brain fog and you're overwhelmed. And I know that when you're in it, it's difficult to see anything else. And I understand that that's the hardest step. And that's why most people never get out of their current situation. Because it's difficult. It is. It's hard to see yourself ever coming out of this situation that you're in right now. But what I'm telling you is that the people who have seemed to have done it have focused on one thing, doing the acts that have gotten them the results, knowing that other people have done these specific things and overcome it as well, and starting to fake it until you make it. I love that line. I've shared it with you before. It's not something that I've made up. Jim Rohn or Brian Tracy or some other brilliant mind out there came out with that. And when you fake it until you make it, what does that mean? Well, here's what it means. It means that you start to do the things that the healthy people do, that the people who have lost weight have done, that the people who have gotten the career that they want have done, the relationships, the same exact things. So you start to act like that person that you want to be, right? You act like them, you walk like them, you talk like them, you dress like them. You do all of the specific things that allow you to better visualize the health that you want, the body that you want, okay? And so here's the thing. A lot of people say, sure, I'll do that when I start to feel better. And I say, no, you can't do that when you start to feel better because you won't feel better until you start to do those specific things. You're not going to get the right career for you until you start to do the certifications, study the specific things, intern with someone. All of those different things are what then get you what you specifically want. But you can't keep doing the things that you've always done and expect a different result. You need to begin to embody the concept of what you envision as your goal. And this literally changes your neurology. I'm serious about this. Your body's hormones literally begin to change. Your body produces more dopamine, which allows you to stay more focused. It gives you more energy. You get excited about something that only leads to more energy. It leads to more of that thing that you get excited about. If you can get excited about even just the possibility of change, that will allow you to take that first step. And all we need is the first step, because if you take the first step, then it's going to give you the momentum to take the second to the third. That is what we're looking for. So not only does dopamine, cortisol, which is a beneficial hormone in many instances, and again, something that my body lacked, allows you to give you the fortitude to move forward, but also things like oxytocin that we don't naturally talk about, that our body's own natural response to that, it begins to elevate your mood. And when you can elevate your mood, all of a sudden you can say, sure, I'm suffering, but probably not for that long if I continue along this path. Because I can see that I've had these little mini successes now. And these mini successes, whether it's been weeks ago, months ago, years ago, have led me to believe that there's a possibility, that's all that you need, a possibility that you'll be able to move forward in whatever it is, whatever your goal is in life. So if we're talking about things like, let's just talk about body transformation for a moment. If you want to transform your body, if you want to lose weight and you've never been able to do it before, or it's been many, many years, you need to start acting like someone who has taken the weight off. So you say to yourself, I took the weight off. How did I do it? How was I able to do that? How was I able to lose the weight? So you're talking as if it's already happened. How was I able to transform my body? Well, here's what I did. I made sure that I worked out 5 days a week. Okay, that's what I did. Well, you say, now I don't have any time. How am I supposed to work out 5 days a week? Well, if you're someone that always finds yourself at the end of the day with all sorts of other priorities, things come up, life comes up, you need to figure out how to do your workouts in the morning. And the nice thing is this, you can work out right at home. But if you say, well, I'm not going to be motivated to work out at home by myself, then I say, you need to hire the personal trainer or hire the coach so that they're calling you, they're texting you for your appointment to make sure that you're coming in. They are your accountability coach. And you're paying money for that, and you don't want to lose out on that hard-earned money. And then you might say, well, I don't have any money. I can't hire a personal trainer. I can't hire a coach. Well, here's the thing. It's interesting, but a lot of the things that we prioritize in life, we're able to find the money for. And again, I'm not saying you need to do this, but what I'm saying is I find it interesting, meaning like when I was in college and I was a poor college kid, I always somehow found the money to be able to go out on the weekends with my buddies and have a few drinks. I was always able to do that, I had to work a little bit more. I had to do this. I had to do whatever, right? No one was giving me the money to do that. I had to find a way to do that. And sometimes it meant cutting back on this specific thing, but it was worth it because as a college kid, I didn't want to have to ask one of my friends for money. I didn't want to sit back in my dorm room, any of those things. So the pain was great enough. The pain was great enough that I wanted to hang out with my peers, which is obviously a great thing. I mean, that was some of my most enjoyable times, is going out with my friends and just hanging out and just being college kids. That was really it. But what I'm saying is when your pain is great enough, you'll be able to find the way as well. You might do things like, okay, I need to transform my body. I'm not eating well. You might need to batch your meals. You probably heard about me say this before, that I'm not a huge advocate of prepackaging all these meals for 3 days later because of the bacteria that can grow in the food and all of that. But what is more important? What's more important right now is that you achieve your goal. It's that you achieve your goal and that you do what you need to do, and it's still probably healthier food in the first place. So if you need to, on Sundays, batch your food, or probably a healthier way to do it is make all 5 days or 6 days that you need and then freeze them, right? And take them out then the night before or that morning, whatever it might be. And then your meal's already done and it's already pre-cooked and it's frozen. So it's probably a little bit healthier than just letting it sit in your refrigerator for 3 or 4 days collecting bacteria. But if that's what you need to do, then you do that. Well, you say, well, that's going to take time and I have to go food shopping. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Getting to your goal is not necessarily always going to be easy. For the Dr. Cabral detox, people say, do I really have to do the first 2 days of the shake fasting? 4 shakes a day for the first 2 days, no whole food. And I say, well, you can start with days 3 through 7. Like you can do that. That's okay. Where you're doing the shake and then the meal for lunch and then the shake and then the dinner at night, very specifically. And I've talked about that before, so I'm not going to go through it today. But people say, that's going to be hard. And I say, yes, if you've never done it before, there will be a challenge to it. I call it the Dr. Cabral Detox Challenge. You are challenging yourself. You're challenging your mind, not your body. Your body can do it, but your mind, you're challenging your mind to be able to push through these difficult times. But I honestly believe that pushing through difficult times, pushing through suffering, not allowing the suffering to become you, but you overcoming the suffering is what life is all about. It gives your life infinite meaning. And then when you're able to overcome something, you are then able to teach that to someone else. And that's pretty much the whole point is so far that I've figured out in this life is that we are literally meant to overcome our own challenges in life. We're meant to overcome them, not be a bystander in life, not let things happen to us. We overcome all of these challenges. They're always coming our way. And as we overcome them, we try to lift someone else up. We try to help them out who may have had the same challenge or similar to ours, meaning maybe they have rosacea or alopecia or rheumatoid arthritis, but you had the Hashimoto's, okay? But you both suffered from some type of autoimmune or gut-based dysfunction, whatever it is, and you say, here's what I did. It wasn't the same as yours, but here's what I did. And you share that story with them. Not from an ego-based perspective, but a perspective of, I was able to do this. I was taught by somebody else. Let me pay it forward to you. So my true advice to you is this, is that I don't know how to stop the challenges from coming your way. I don't know how to always make life easy for you. But what I do know is that anytime you find yourself in a chronic-based condition, so a condition that's lasted more than 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and oftentimes we're talking about health, right? We're talking about health in the Cabral concept. But we're also talking about body transformation. Maybe you haven't been able to lose the weight for weeks, months, or years, right? But you've tried. You've tried. Or relationship-wise, you've gone years now without being in a healthy relationship. It might be a relationship that you're currently in right now, or someone that you're not able to find, right? You're not able to find that right person. Same with career. I talk to potential health coaches all the time saying they don't like the career that they're in, right? But it's kind of what they studied in school, and they've been in it now for a decade, and they feel lost and they feel stuck. And it's become who they are. It's become their identity. What do? Well, they go out with their friends after work or maybe on the weekends, and they complain about what they're currently dealing with in life. And I did the same exact thing. I could not wait, and I've shared this story before, but I could not wait for essentially 3 p.m. every single day when I was out of school sick, right? I was out of school sick for many months. My senior year of high school, very difficult time being a senior in high school and not being able to be with all your friends your last year. And I remember every day at 3 o'clock, couldn't wait till my friends got home so I could call them And I could just basically chat with them what was going on, what's the latest and greatest. But also I would complain. And I think after a while, they got tired of hearing me complain. It was the same story every single day. It was the same story. And looking back on it, I was complaining because I was probably looking for some sympathy, or it's all that I knew, meaning that I didn't have good going on in my life. And the only thing that I could share with them was all of my hardships. And that's what I identified with. I couldn't find a lot of the good. But oftentimes, if we're able to just look past the things that are always just right in front of our face, always the pain, always the suffering, always the relationship issues, the poor career, all of those specific things, we can begin to look deeper at a few of the things that we do have going for us. So back then, when I was in high school and I would be suffering, I could have seen, wow, look at my parents who are doing all that they can to try to bring me to the best doctors and specialists in the world, right? I don't know my answers yet. I don't know my answers, but look at the amazing things that they're doing for me. What about my friends? Willing to call me after school, willing to listen to me complain. Pretty amazing that I have these types of friends. So there are things that you just can give you that little bit of boost. That's all that I need, that little bit of boost, a little bit of positivity, a little bit of gratitude. And the reason that I need that, and this is very, very specific, the reason that I need that is that you're going to then have to face reality and have to now push through a few of the things in your life that are the negatives. And I'll tell you, there are going to be challenges. But here's how I look at it. And this is something that I've reflected on for quite some time, that we're always going to face the challenges. We really are. Some of them are going to be larger than others. So if you're suffering from something big right now, it is the health issue. It's the body transformation. It's the career that you need. You know that you need to make the career change, right? Or the relationship that you're in is not working, or you can't find the right person and you don't know where to look, what's going to happen. I believe this, right? You're unhappy right now, but I believe that you can either be unhappy for a short period of time, whether you go out there and when you go out there and you do the work, you act like the person who's going to go after that goal and achieve that goal, or you're unhappy for decades to come. That's how I look at it, right? The person who wants to lose the weight is not happy about having to wake up early in the morning and work out. They're not happy about having to pre-make their meals. They're not happy about having to go to bed a little bit earlier. All of these things, those things don't make them happy. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to be a whole lot happier when you achieve that goal. You feel great about yourself. And then it will allow you then to stop the decades of unhappiness to come. Because the longer you go with the career issues, the body transformation issues, the health issues, the relationship issues, the worse it gets. It compounds. It doesn't get 1 year worse every year, right? It gets 2, 3 times worse. Why? Because you've taken off another year from going after your goal. You've taken off another year, 2 years, 3 years from being the person that you want to be. And here's the problem. You know who you want to be. You know what you want in life. You might bury it. You might push it down. But what happens is once you know that you're living a life that's false, that's not to your true identity, that's not who you really believe that you are deep down. I know that you believe right now that you're the person who can overcome whatever it is, but deep down, you know that that's not the life that you were destined to live. So if you were meant to be in a career that serves other people, right? That you feel passionate about, anytime you're not doing that is one more day of unhappiness. Same with the body. If you're 40, 50, 60, 100 pounds overweight, and you're like, you know what? This is not serving me. When I look in the mirror, this is not the person who I believe that I would be. And I know that there's all sorts of different hormonal and metabolic. I know there's a lot going on with that. And I'm not shortening that at all, right? I totally understand that there are real reasons for the position you're in. Same with health. There was real reasons why I had Addison's disease and the other things that I had. There were real reasons, right? But when I look at that and I say, wow, I'm like, this is the rest of my life, right? 17 years old, this is it. How long am I really going to live? Like, how long a life could I possibly live being this sick? Wasn't going to be too long. People with Addison's disease and type 2 diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis and all of the myalgic encephalomyelitis, all these things, they didn't live a long life. How could they? Their bodies didn't operate properly. Same with being 50 pounds, 100 pounds overweight. That's probably going to take years off your life. I mean, the stress of relationships, the stress of a career, that takes years off your life, right? What we need to do is get in harmony with who we truly are. It is the way to not only longevity, good health, but abundant energy and vitality and being happy in life. That's what we all want, right? We want to be happier in life. So how I want to close this out is this, is that I truly believe that you're suffering right now, you're unhappy right now, and to do the things that you need to do to overcome your current situation are going to make you unhappy as well. They really are. They probably are. You're not going to want to take the nutritional supplements, do the detoxes, exercise, get to bed a little bit early. You don't want to do those things. You want to stay up late and, you want to be able to eat your favorite foods and all of those things, right? You want to be able to do those things, and you can, right? We lay out once a week, the cheat meal, once you start to feel better, all those different things, right? But I'm telling you right now, you are going to be infinitely happier if you've achieved your goal and you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm fulfilled. This is the life I was meant to live. Not that momentary pleasure of staying up later at night, the momentary pleasure of eating the foods that you want, of going out and drinking 3 nights a week, whatever it might be. And you wake up the next morning and you're dejected. You feel terrible. You have brain fog, that you can't live a life of energy doing those specific things. So I say, choose a little bit of unhappiness now, very short term, 3 months, 4 months, right? Short term. And it doesn't have to be unhappy because you know that you're on the way to achieving a goal, but choose that short-term displeasure over long-term suffering. Decades. Think about how old you are right now. 40, 50, 60, 70. So you live 20, 30, 40 more years like this? That's not a choice. That's not an option. You can't live like that. Don't let that be your life. What I want you to do is to start to visualize who you want to be, right? Who you want to be. Don't visualize the person that you are currently. That's a state that you don't want to be in. Visualize the person who has abundant energy, who feels amazing. Don't say that it doesn't have joint pain. No, you want the positive, that the body feels amazing, right? That it feels energized, that you feel happy. And then what I want you to do is then begin to start to fake it until you make it, until you actually make that dream a reality. I want you to fake it first. And by that, I mean this. I want you to start to do all of the things that the people have done to overcome the situation that you're currently in. That's it. That's what I want you to do. So I want you to seek out the doctor, the personal trainer, the chiropractor, the acupuncturist, the life coach, whoever it is. I just want you to seek out that person. And it could be a book. It could be a book that gets you started, or maybe it's a podcast series, or maybe it's a lab test, or maybe it is, going in depth with someone and doing coaching and mentoring and those types of things. But what I want you to do is seek out that advice, and I want you to begin to follow that plan. And I want you to start to act like the person who's already achieved the goal that they want to achieve. And if your Instagram post or your Instagram bio says, this sufferer, autoimmune sufferer, migraine sufferer, you need to take that down. You need to take that down. You need to then say below it, someone on a journey, right? Like on a quest to conquer my migraines. I need you to flip that in a positive direction, because the only way that you're going to be able to overcome your current hardships is to believe that a better future exists. And it does. I know you can achieve that. All I need to do is start to believe it. That's it. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you so much for tuning into the Cabral Concept. Take care.
Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.